partners here who have been, I don't see Sonia here, but Sonia and Shaikonia and our friend Frank are the ones who push me and Shafiq to these programs. Not that we don't want to be pushed, but the issue is the weather. You saw 2 days ago what happened. And I've been telling Shaikonia, we all come from warm weather country. Therefore, wait till the weather is better and we can get our people out. Having said that, thank you very much for coming, and let me introduce every federal partner who is here with us. Tom Chopa, the District Director of USCIS. Those of you who are here, I will tell about it in the hall, that this is as high as you can get in USCIS in New York. So beyond that, it's Washington. So whatever issues people have, they can talk to him here. Our friend from Long Island, Dr. Asif Rahman from CBP.
Yeah, Ahmed.
Ahmed has been here before, sir.
CBP, Uloom.
Yes, everybody knows that. If you have a blue passport or green passport, you will come here. Mr. Akil Baldwin, Frank R. Staten Islanders. And I'm very happy that, and he has done a lot both in media and in physical work, in practical work.
And he converted Muslim before 20 years ago.
Yeah.
The weirdest Puerto Rican you ever seen.
Yeah.
Sonia.
Yeah. Oh, Sonia is here.
And Sonia.
Yeah, Sonia Thomas. Yes, I was saying that Sonia and Shaikonia are the soldiers in this, who keep the community leaders for all our federal partners. This is, like I said, as high as you can go to USCIS, as high as you can go to CBP in New York. But this place where you're sitting is as large and as high and as wide you can go in Bengali Muslim communities and to Pakistani Muslim communities. This is a very important center, not only in terms of prayers, but in terms of educating younger Americans into becoming not only good Muslims, but good Americans. This is a unique Islamic center where we have brought you today, and you will meet students. We hope you are able to spend some time with them. There are more than 700 students here, 500 students. Some of them are residents.
500 and part-time after school 200. Yes.
And they are focused, like we keep talking to them. The president of the organization was once telling me, Mr. Sardar, that our focus is to produce American imams. And Kevin and I can appreciate that. We have been going to masajid where we face foreign-born imams who do not culturally, politically tie up to American system. Therefore, they are not able to correctly connect to the audience that they are addressing, and they bring issues and they talk about things which are irrelevant to America in terms of Islam. So once we have the graduates from schools like Darul Uloom, we will have imams who are born and bred, say in Queens, in Brooklyn, in Staten Island, though, who can connect to the culture and to political system. And therefore, what we keep talking about, terrorism and recruitment, inshallah, those things will go down as we become active in bringing our own kids up and educate them about the dangers of getting onto the internet and watching whatever they watch, and so on and so forth.
Today it gives me great pleasure to introduce some very important guests that we have today, departments in America where we're living. And it's a very great blessing that they're here, because many of these departments, of course, some of us may have some different thoughts about it, misconceptions. There's a little bit of haziness sometimes in what's going on, and we want to be more clear about these different departments. So very rarely do we get this opportunity that we can have them come to us. Precious time. They're very busy people, and they have come here to speak to us and to present to us what they are doing, the incredibly important works that they are doing, each one, in a great effort to keep our homeland safe and to make sure that there's no evil in our lands or anything bad happening. And it's rare. We don't get a lot of these opportunities. A lot of the mosques which are having their prayer today, they don't have this opportunity and this great fortune to have these respected and honorable guests come here and elaborate about the great works that they're doing for our country. I would like to, first of all, introduce who we have here with us and has become a part of our school, Francis J. Russo, the Director of the CBP Customs and Border Protection. We also have with us the Director of Immigration and Citizenship and Services, the USICS, Thomas M. Chopa. He's here as well. We have with us Akil R. Baldwin, which is the Acting Special Agent in charge of ICE, which is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement investigations. We have also Kevin F. Mannion, who is from the U.S. Department of Justice, the FBI. We have Mohammed Siddiqui, who is a manager and stakeholder at the DHS, TSA JFK Airport. Thank them, Dr. Suhail Muzaffar. We'd like to thank him for organizing this, and he has such a beautiful thought of our students, and we make requests to the students to make dua for him as well. May Allah Ta'ala give him the healing, complete healing. Other ones are knowing the meaning of it, the proper meaning of it, and the proper meaning of the Islam. Many of them will go into the religious fields and they'll become imams and leaders, and many of them may be coming to the borders and becoming an officer. They might be joining the FBI. They could be part of the police department. They could be teachers in universities. So we know that ignorance is something that is very dark and is something that's very dangerous. If our Muslims in our communities know the proper Islam and they are, in the stock market and they are trying to be in the government and they are doing the jobs outside, so this will make them even better parts of the community, because they will also have a good and sound and very, very correct knowledge about Islam, which we know today many have tried to take over and shown a very bad image of Islam and have focused on some very... So this is a very good opportunity for you to speak to these students, and you are basically taking a shortcut into the communities, because these are basically going to be the leaders of the communities in the future. So I call first of all on one of our students, Maaz Hussein. He will recite a short few verses of the Quran in Arabic, and then we'll have our guest speak to us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. آمن الرسول بما أنزل إليه من ربه والمؤمنون كل آمن بالله وملائكته وكتبه ورسله لا نفرق بين أحد من رسله وقالوا سمعنا وأطعنا غفرانك ربنا وإليك المصير. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها لها ما كسبت وعليها ما اكتسبت. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم.
First of all, I would like to call on our very good friend, and this will be the second speech he'll be giving to us. He came last year and talked to us, and he's a very kind person, considering the position that he's in. I mean, if I was in that position, I'd be a tough guy. But he's so humble and such a pleasant person to be around. I've really been taken aback by him the few times I've met him. As such a person in such a great position, but so humble and so sincere and so kind. So I call on Francis J. Russo, the director at the Port Authority in the JFK and at Customs and Border Protection.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Mikhail.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. I want to thank Imam Mohammed Yamin and the President, Farooq Sadar, the President of the Board of Trustees, for inviting us here today. What an honor. What an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to be here to speak to you today about U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And I also want to thank our brothers and sisters in law enforcement, FBI, CIS, TSA, HSI, for joining us here today as well. Special thank you to Suhail Musafar and Shafiq Siddiqui, who are near and dear to my heart, dear friends to me. Without them, we would not be here today. And it is because of your amazing support that we're able to do this, able to build trust with the community, which is why we are here today. On October 1st, 2017, Stephen Paddock opened fire on a crowd in Las Vegas at a concert. And he was in his hotel room in Mandalay Bay. And from his hotel room, he fired 1,100 shots, 1,100 rounds. And he killed 58 people and injured more than 800. It was one of the deadliest mass shootings by an individual, the deadliest mass shooting in the United States by an individual. On October 31st, 2017, Saifullah Saipov drove a truck on the West Side Highway. He killed 8 individuals, most of them tourists, and injured 12. And on December 11th, 2017, Akayed Ullah, inspired by ISIS, tried to detonate a pipe bomb at the Port Authority bus terminal subway station. He injured himself and 3 others. And finally, most recently, on February 14th, 2018, Nicholas Cruz, armed with an AR-15 style semi-automatic rifle and multiple rounds, activated a fire alarm and began firing indiscriminately at students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. 17 people were killed, 17 students and faculty, and 17 more were injured. These attacks are a sober reminder of the threats we all face every single day. They are a reminder that there is evil in this world and that there are people with mental challenges who will always look to do us harm. The attacks also highlight the fact that law enforcement can't be everywhere, that we can't prevent every attack. Now, make no mistake about it, there are so many attacks that are thwarted each and every day. Most of those you do not hear about. And here's the other reality. Most of those threats are stopped because of you in the community who reach out and provide us with the information so that those attacks never happen. And so we thank you for that. For CBP, the agency responsible for safeguarding the border, these attacks are a reminder to us of just how critical our job is. Think about this. 16.3 million passengers came through JFK last year. Every single one of those passengers has to be examined, has to be interviewed. And for our employees, some of them who are here today, they know that they cannot be wrong, that they cannot make a mistake. But here's the other reality. We know that 99% of the traveling public is legitimate. And so it is our job also to make sure that that 99% is processed professionally and with respect. The attacks offer us one additional reality. Like I said, law enforcement can't do it alone. Protecting this country requires us to lean on the community, and that is where all of you fit into the equation. You serve as a force multiplier to us, and the reality is, like I said, most attacks are thwarted because of your efforts. And so we all stand here before you today to thank you for all of your support, for all that you do for the community to keep it safe. And as Mikhail said earlier, join us. Finally, that is the last thing I want to tell you. Join us. Affect the change that you want to see in the United States by becoming a part of the solution. We welcome you, and we hope that you really take that up today. And again, I just want to thank you all for being here today. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Francis J. Russo. Next, I would like to call on the Director of Immigration and Citizenship Service, the USCIS, Thomas M. Choba. Mr. Thomas M. Choba.
Assalamu alaikum. It's my privilege to be here today. Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. Imam Muhammad Yanin, thank you. Amin, thank you. Farouk Sardar, thank you. Communication, education, transparency. This is the most critical thing we can do in a government capacity. I've been with the government now for almost 37 years, 30 of those years with the United States Army. I want to applaud each of you for two reasons. One, you're willing to get an education. That means you're committed. You're committed to furthering your own development because you want to help the community. And number two, that's the critical thing I want to say for you. You want to aid your community. You want to be that critical word, that leader in the community. You're examples. In my role every day when I go as a district director, I feel I'm an example. I'm an example for those that want to become citizens. I'm an example for those that work for me. What exactly do we do in my line of work? We make new citizens. And I know in today's political environment, it can be very daunting. But we are still doing the same work that we did 20 years ago. I find it interesting that you hear these words called extreme vetting. We've actually vetted people for many, many years. There's a number of systems, checks, and balances. We talk about truth, we talk about credibility. I can believe I'm being truthful, but I know I can tend to lack credibility with you. You don't necessarily know who I am and may not trust what I have to say. It's not by words that we're going to define ourselves within our organization. It's going to be by our actions, how we treat those who enter our doors. The biggest thing that I ask for anybody, from our workers that work for me, treat people with dignity and respect. It does not matter where they're from, what language they speak, what they look like, what religion they practice. It's about dignity. It's about respect. And if we can emulate that behavior, not only do you become future better religious leaders, we make ourselves a better community. The one remark I would like to say specifically is about fraudulent marriages. The biggest thing that gets people in trouble when they come through our doors is that it's a marriage that may not be truthful. And sometimes people are fooled into marrying the wrong person so that they can gain an immigration benefit. And unfortunately, it doesn't just hurt the person, one person, it hurts a couple people. So it's a little bit like my parents used to tell me when I was getting married, choose wisely. So I offer you the same advice, choose wisely. And as Mr. Russo had said, I'd offer the same thing. Thank you. Thank you for opening up your mosque to us today, for us to share our message. And again, I wish you the very best as you continue your education. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Thomas M. Chopa, for the incredible, informative talk. And we thank you also for coming. Next, I would like to call Akil R. Baldwin. He is the acting special agent in charge of the ICE immigration and customs enforcement investigations. So we call on him to come, Mr. Akil Baldwin.
Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you, Imam Muhammad Yamin and Mr. Farouk Sadar for inviting me. I'm very excited and humbled to be here. I sit in an office all day, so I always consider these field trips to get out and speak to the community. I'm the acting deputy special agent in charge for Homeland Security investigations, and I want to give you a number: 6,000. 6,000 agents we have worldwide. What we do, we investigate transnational criminal organizations that exploit America's trade, travel, and finance. So when we talk about trade, we talk about intellectual property rights, counterfeit goods, stolen arts, antiquities. When we talk about travel, human smuggling, human trafficking, identity benefit fraud, as my colleague, Mr. Chiopa said, fraudulent marriages. That's what we do. Finance, money laundering, financial schemes, schemes that target the elderly, schemes that target innocent people. That's what we investigate. That's what we bring to the table. I brought up the number 6,000. 6,000 agents worldwide. We're really good at what we do, but we're not that good because we can only be as good as you guys, the community. And a lot of the great information that we receive is from the community. And just like individuals here, you guys are educating yourselves to become imams. You want to keep your community safe, and that's what we're here to do. And we can't do our job without you. So I'll leave you with this. It is very important, and again, I thank our friends and colleagues for inviting us to this. We can't do our job without you and your cooperation. So I want to keep it short and just say thank you again for your invitation. Again, I'm really excited. I'll be here to chat if you have any questions. Okay? Thank you very much.
We would like to call next and thank Mr. Akil Baldwin for his talk, and they will be here after the prayer if anyone wants to ask questions and things like that. They will be here. They got brochures, so they're ready to answer questions after the prayer. I want to call next on Mr. Kevin F. Mannion. He's in the U.S. Department of Justice, the FBI.
Good afternoon, everyone. You guys can hear me, right? Thanks again. Appreciate the invite. I've taken the tour before, and I appreciate coming back to actually speak to everyone. For those of you who don't know, the FBI, believe it or not, does three things, really. You might see a lot of crazy stuff on TV. We don't do any of that. Don't watch those shows. How many people watch those FBI shows? You can admit it. Come on. Some of you do. It's all fake. We don't solve crimes in 1 hour with commercials. We don't, do these wacky things that you see on TV. In reality, when you boil it all down, there's three things that we do. We investigate terrorism, we investigate espionage or spies, and we investigate criminal activity. Law enforcement, and my colleagues here can attest, is one of the craziest occupations in the world. We're the only business that tries to put ourselves out of business. We want fewer victims. We want fewer people coming to us with complaints or cases. We want everybody to be safe is the bottom line. So our goal in the FBI is to educate people about all of those things. That there are people internationally and domestically that want to harm us because of our way of life, because of the way that we live in America, whether it's recent domestic terrorism or international terrorism. They just don't like the fact that we can all live side by side and be completely different from one another and still get along. So that continues to be a problem. On espionage, and that side, on the spy side of the house, because New York City is home to the United Nations, we have a large number of spies here. And there's two kinds of spies. They're looking to steal government information, or they're looking to steal corporate information. So if you end up working for a company, there's a chance that a spy is going to try to steal your corporate secrets. Whether it's the next iPhone, the new recipe for Coca-Cola, whatever it may be, there are people that, believe it or not, want to steal that information. So that's something that we look at here in the FBI. And third, and probably even more important, is the criminal work that we do. And my goal, and I'll give you just a couple quick things, is to make sure that you don't fall victim to some of these scams and some of these things that are going on, especially on the internet. And I have a bunch of flyers on the table, and I'll show you guys in a moment, but we have a whole website devoted just to cyber scams, just to educate folks about internet scams that are going on. So you go online to order a great gift for yourself or a family member or a game, whatever it may be, and you find out you got scammed. Somebody stole your money. Those scams are all on here. I want to make sure you at least look at our website. And this website isn't just unique to the FBI. All of our law enforcement partners are on there. It's called the Internet Crime Complaint Center, ic3.gov. You can go on there and learn about whatever the latest and unfortunate scam is. So please take a look at that. That's one of the things we have. Another thing real quick for the FBI, despite what you see on TV, we do not care about your immigration status. It doesn't matter to us. There are other parts of the law enforcement that deal with that. We don't care. So feel free, if you are a victim, whether you're in this country legally or not, it doesn't matter to us. If you're a victim of a crime, you are a victim of a crime. So please, never hesitate to report the fact that you've been a victim because you're undocumented or your status is overstayed, whatever it is. Please don't worry about that. So that's something we have there. We are hiring. That's my little 2-second plug. Not just special agents, but we have translators. You could be going to school right now and work part-time as a translator for us as well. So if you have a second language, by all means, you're welcome to use it. We have everything that any major corporation has, human resources. We need mechanics to fix our cars. We need carpenters, locksmiths, nurses, all kinds of occupations you probably wouldn't associate with the FBI. We have a need for those here as well. So please don't think just because you don't want to be a special agent that you can't work for us here in the FBI. We have another couple other programs for kids that I'll show you over at the table, but the last one I want to make sure I leave you with is this flyer right here, and it's on the website as well. This is about the growing opioid epidemic, and especially for the folks that are going to go on to become imams and you're going to be leaders in your community. This has affected all communities. It doesn't matter race, religion, where you live, socioeconomic status. I live in Staten Island, and Staten Island and Suffolk County, New York, have been hit very hard by the drug epidemic, particularly the opioid crisis. So please, when you're talking to family and friends, educate them about that. We have a video on our website that gives you the real deal and shows you what the opioid crisis looks like up close and personal. I think it's an important message, especially for young kids. I don't see it a problem in this room. Everybody that's here is here for the right reasons. So it's our friends and family and other folks that we got to make sure don't stray from that path and don't end up abusing drugs, whether it's legal or illegal drugs. So please be aware of that, and I'll have plenty more of those handouts on the table. I'll be here until the last person leaves. So if you have any questions, by all means, stop by and ask. So, thank you. I appreciate it.
Next, I will call on Mr. Mohammed Siddiqui, who is the manager and stakeholder at the TSA JFK Airport Transport Safety Administrator.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. First of all, I would like to thank Imam Muhammad Yamin and Mr. Farooq Sardar for inviting us. As you know, I work for TSA, and I'm here at JFK. So I'll talk briefly about TSA, what we do, and give some points to the would-be travelers. So most people, when they travel, deal with TSA when they go through the TSA checkpoints, whether you're traveling domestically or internationally. A lot of the issues that we have with the passengers, they don't come prepared when they come to the TSA checkpoint, right? We have walk-through metal detectors, right? So when you walk through the walk-through metal detector, you're supposed to divest yourself of all the items that you may have in your pocket, so the walk-through metal detector doesn't ring. But a lot of people, even I do sometimes, forget something in my pocket, and that would set the walk-through metal detector off. So you would have to go back and divest yourself. So if you're prepared before you go through the screening process, it'll speed up your process, and your wait time would be less. Same goes for how you pack your bags when you're traveling, right? The less cluttered your bag is, the better it is, because the operator who's operating the X-ray machine has to see what's inside your bag. What they're looking for is prohibited items like knives, switchblades, Then they're looking for if there's any guns, gun parts, and obviously IEDs or improvised explosive devices. So they have to go through all that stuff that's in your bag to make sure there's no dangerous item in there. So if you pack your bag when you're going through the screening process, don't put a lot of electronic items, a lot of wires in it. Put them in checked baggage because there's more time allowed for checked baggage to be screened, and then you don't have to wait for it, right? So that's one thing. The other thing is there's TSA gets a lot of complaints about, oh, I wasn't treated well, I had to take my shoes off, I had to do this and I had to do that. So unfortunately, that's the process, but what is TSA doing about it? I'm sure some of you, or if not all of you, may have heard about TSA PreCheck program, right? So TSA PreCheck program is a trusted traveler program where you enroll in a TSA PreCheck program. It's $85 for 5 years membership. So you can travel for 5 years, and then you get a TSA PreCheck, what we call a KTN number, known traveler number. So every time you travel, you put that number in your reservation. A TSA PreCheck markings come up on your boarding pass. If you have that, then we have a separate queuing area for TSA PreCheck people. The wait time is much less. You will not wait more than 10 minutes in a pre-check lane. You don't have to take your shoes off, you don't have to take your jacket off, and the process is much faster. So I have some material left as to how to enroll in the TSA pre-check program. As far as TSA hiring, we're always hiring people, mostly TSOs, Transportation Security Officers, that you guys encounter when you go through the TSA checkpoints, and then administrative officers, and lastly, Federal Air Marshals. So those are the three things that anybody can apply from outside to get in. What else? TSA pre-check. I think that's about it, and I'm sure I have some materials about how to get information on where to apply when the job opening is available. So there are some pamphlets that you guys pick up and apply for the jobs. We have a lot of local community folks within TSA ranks, some Muslim folks as well. Including myself, not only just in TSA, but at JFK, CBP has a lot of them, FBI, and other federal agencies as well. So, if you are willing to, or want to have that job, all you have to do is apply, and if you have the qualifications, there's no restriction on just because you're a Muslim you can't apply. So, I've been a part of TSA from beginning, and before that I was with FAA as a federal agency, so I've been at JFK for about 21 years, and have no complaints. All right, thank you.
Just for 30 seconds, thank you very, very much, Imam Yamin, Brother Mikhail, and Brother Barkat, and all our federal partners here. One last point, after the prayer is over, we have a lot of brochures here from each agency, please stop by. And one more point that we keep bringing up, that we have a lot of cases coming up as community leaders when we have to go to USCIS or FBI or ICE. If you are involved in a fraudulent marriage, it's a very serious offense, and if you are a first-time US citizen, like we are, not born here, then you are putting even your citizenship in danger, and we have great difficulty defending you or taking your case before either USCIS or ICE or FBI. So we cannot really do anything but be very careful, inshallah.
I'm so excited to see all of you today again. I am in touch with Darul Uloom from last 10 years. And I'm really humbled to say, whenever we ever come across with the law enforcement or other officials, this is the model. This is the America. This is what we are, American Muslims. And we all condemn the things that are painting us with the different colors. So thank you so much again to be patient with us and to listen to all the officers. Thank you for the food. Thank you, Imam Sahab, food. Imam Ustad Mikhail, thank you for your kindness. And Barkat Bhai is always around here with us. Thank you all of you again. Let's go back to Imam Mikhail.
So just to let them know that we appreciate them, we give them one round of applause, inshallah, for this. Thank you very much. And one final word from our principal, Muhammad Yamin.
They want to know about us. And always I'm requesting those law enforcement officers and chiefs, when they heard any message from our community, I request them, before investigation, let us know. As a community leader, will provide real and authentic investigation, what you want. Inshallah, this is our promise. This is our country. We are citizens. We are American. We are living here. Our parents, our children, our kids growing in this country. We have to save this country. We have to protect this country. Again, I'm going to say thanks to our officers. And this is the first step to come in Darul Uloom on behalf of my colleague, President Barkatullah Saab, and our staff, our teachers, and our students, again, and give them thanks. I'm telling them thanks again and again. Jazakumullah khair.
Today's session was very good, and I think it gives opportunity for young kids who are in madrasas, who are doing religious education as well as general education, to communicate, meet, and have interaction with the law enforcement officers, FBI and border control and TSA. I think dialogue like that, session like that, teaching session and seminar like that will be very, very helpful for young kids and young generation.
It's encouraging. It's encouraging and promising to see students who are looking to make themselves better, looking to better themselves and to better the community, quite frankly. Oh, absolutely. I want to thank the Imam Yamin for inviting us here and for giving us an opportunity to build trust with the Muslim community.
Well, I'm really delighted that we were invited to attend this event, and I was able to speak with the audiences to tell them about TSA and what to do when they come to the TSA checkpoint, when they're traveling, and how to become a member of TSA PreCheck, where They don't have to take their shoes off. They don't have to take the jackets off, and it's much faster and less weight for them.
Today, the main theme of this program is the community outreach. This program was started actually right after the 9/11, when we see the difficulties between Muslim community and the law enforcement. And Muslim community in those days were victim, actually, with a lot of confusion. And we decided to have a dialogue with the law enforcement. We approached to the law enforcement mainly with FBI, Homeland Security, ICE, USCIS, and CBP, and TSA. And we start talking with them. Since then, we go on different religious centers, community centers, and we introduce the law enforcement officers, the high officials, to our community and give them a brief and give them details about their jobs and roles and assure them they are not here to arrest us. They're not here to make us afraid from the system. We are Americans, so we have equal right. They are here to protect us. So main theme of this today's meeting was in Darul Uloom, to bring these individuals, the kids, the young youth, closer to the law enforcement, so they should understand their role in our society, and law enforcement should understand our youth role in American society.
Darul Uloom is one of the biggest Islamic institutions in New York City, and we appreciate the work they are doing, not only in terms of educating the young Americans to become American Muslims, which is very critical in developing the future of Islam in this country by developing our own younger generation. So that is why we have focus here. And also the work they do in terms of reaching out to the Muslim Ummah is great, and we are very happy to keep coming back to Darul Uloom.
This has absolutely been one of the most outstanding experiences. I've had the opportunity to participate. I saw a lot of young, great men here who want to do well for the community, who want to further the Islam religion and want to become great citizens of the United States. Whenever we make new citizens, I always say the same thing. We don't ask you to give up your customs and traditions. We want those new customs and traditions because that weaves into the fabric of the U.S. and makes us great. And I just want to say on behalf of the New York District, thank you for the invitation. It was meaningful and it absolutely was memorable.
ITV, Call of Peace, Save Humanity.